dialogue on state policing, aptly themed Pathways to Peace, Reimagining Policing in Nigeria. The escalating security challenges facing our country demand innovative solutions and candid discussions. The National Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives, with our colleagues from the Senate, recognizes the gravity of this situation and is firmly committed to exploring all viable options that will lead to a safer and more secure Nigeria for its citizens. The present policing structure necessitates a data-driven evaluation. The United Nations recommends a police-to-citizen ratio of 1:450 citizens. One police officer today, regrettably, in Nigeria is taking care of not 450 citizens, but 600 citizens. This is according to the report of the IGP recently in November 2023 that pegged the number of policemen in our country to 370,000 officers. This translates to a consigning ratio of roughly 1 police to 600 citizens, like I mentioned. This significant understaffing is further compounded by resource deficiencies. Since 2016, estimates suggest over 5 billion naira has been paid in ransom to kidnappers, a figure that starkly exposes the alarming growth of this criminal enterprise in the country. Furthermore, the 2024 Global Terrorism Index paints a concerning picture, ranking Nigeria 4th in sub-Saharan Africa and 8th globally for countries most impacted by terrorism. These statistics underscore the urgent need for a multi-layered policing approach that prioritizes local security and enables a more responsive policing environment in Nigeria. I also want to recall our memory of the fact that this critical conversation on state policing gained significant momentum following an emergency meeting in February 2024 between the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and state governors at the Aso Rock Villa. This particular gathering highlighted state policing as a national priority, reflecting deep understanding of the need for a new approach to tackling insecurity. Nigerians are understandably divided in this proposed solution to the nation's security challenges. One school of thought advocates for a return to multi-layered policing. Proponents of this approach argue for the re-establishment of state police force to operate alongside the existing federal police structure. They believe this competitive model will incentivize states to prioritize security within their territories, ultimately attracting businesses and residents while boosting state economies through increased job creation and tax revenue. Conversely, others maintain that the current unitary system can be reformed to address security concerns. These individuals acknowledge shortcomings in past policing practices. They believe a revamped federal model can be optimized for improved national security. It is pertinent to note that regardless of these arguments, the subnationals in Nigeria already practice some form of multi-layered policing, from the Amotekun in the southwest to the Bubago in the southeast, as with the Pioneer Civilian Joint Task Force, CJTF, in the northeast geopolitical zone. The House of Representatives is currently considering Bill HB 617, a constitutional alteration bill on state policing sponsored by myself and 13 other distinguished colleagues. The national dialogue presents a valuable opportunity for cross-fertilization of ideas on the most effective path towards establishing state policing in Nigeria. Through open discussion and a thorough examination of all perspectives, we can identify the optimal strategy for a more secure and peaceful Nigeria. In various jurisdictions worldwide, multi-layered policing system have been implemented with varying degrees of success. These systems often involve different levels of law enforcement agencies operating concurrently, each with specific responsibility and jurisdiction. Examining some of these jurisdictions sheds light on the potential benefits and challenges of adopting a similar approach in Nigeria. The United States exemplifies a multi-layered policing system with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. In the United Kingdom, policing is organized into several layers, including regional and local level. Canada also employs a multi-layered policing system consisting of federal, provincial, and municipal police forces. Other jurisdictions, examples of multi-layered policing include Brazil as well as Australia. Despite the challenges, despite the examples of multi-layered policing systems in other jurisdictions, opponents in Nigeria raise valid concern about the potential drawbacks and challenges associated with implementing such a system. As earlier noted, opposition voices argue that introducing multi-layers of policing could lead to fragmentation of authority, with different agencies competing with resources and jurisdictional control. This could result in a confusion and inefficiency in law enforcement efforts. Critics also fear that decentralization of law enforcement powers could increase the risk of abuse of power by local or state level authorities without adequate oversight and accountability mechanisms. There may be instances of corruption, political interference, or human rights violation. Given Nigeria's diverse ethnic and regional landscape, opponents caution that multi-layer policing could exacerbate existing tensions and inequalities. There is concern that certain ethnic or regional group may feel marginalized or unfairly targeted by local or state police forces, leading to social unrest or conflict. In addition, implementing a multi-layered policing system requires significant financial and logistical resources. Opponents argue that Nigeria may not have the capacity to adequately fund and support multi-layered of law enforcement agencies, especially in remote or economically disadvantaged areas. While opponents of multi-layered policing in Nigeria raise valid concern, it is essential to address these fears and offer reassurances regarding the potential benefit and mitigating strategies. We recognize that the decision we make regarding the restructuring of Nigerian policing system are not intended to serve the interest of any individual or political faction. Rather, we aim to enact laws and reforms that benefit the collective welfare of our nation. It is important to remember that political leaders, including governors, come and go, but the institution and system we establish endure. By focusing on the greater good and the long-term interests of our society, we can transcend partisan divides and ensure that our laws and policies withstand the test of time. In conclusion, I want to assure you that the National Assembly, and particularly the House of Representatives, is fully committed to providing the right framework, right legislation, right oversight to make state policing work for the betterment of Nigeria. If we agree today that it's the way to go with regards to our various hydra-headed insecurity problems in this country, we understand the importance of getting this right. That is why we're putting the right foot forward. Throughout this dialogue, we will delve into critical issues, gather valuable insights, and explore data-driven approaches. The information and recommendation gathered here today will be crucial in shaping the future of policing in Nigeria. We are optimistic that through collaborative efforts and commitment to evidence-based solutions, we can establish a policing system that is not only effective in combating crime, but also earns the trust of Nigerians and corporations between law enforcement and the communities they serve. Together, we can pave the pathway to a more peaceful and secure Nigeria. Let the conversations begin. Thank you and God bless.